All right, welcome back to NVC Dudes. I'm Brian.
I'm James Prieto, and here we
Excellent.
are.
Here we're back, and we were just talking on our last video about our passions and what needs are being met by our passions, which I think everybody could relate to.
Yeah, yeah, and I've figured out that it's important to recognize the part of me that's really on fire with my passions. And I was talking to Brian here about the joy I feel, and that I just feel energized to contribute NVC, and especially this inner work series that I'm doing, Free Yourself from Reactivity, and I'm having fun sort of applying the principles to my own life and expanding on it. And I realized that tuning into that playful energy you described, like the
Yeah,
desire to play, and Marshall used to, talk about how important that is,
yeah,
you know, uh, to focus on doing things when you feel the joy of a kid feeding a hungry duck.
right.
And and I happen to be in that place right now, and I realized that it's important to be able to recognize that part of us within ourselves that feels that joy at connecting to life so fully.
Right.
Yeah, and I called it the enlightened inner giraffe.
Ooh, the enlightened inner giraffe.
The
Like,
enlightened inner giraffe. So there's a part of us that is enlightened already.
I'm just
And it,
imagining this giraffe sitting there doing, just some sort of yoga pose with the big legs and the long neck. Yeah,
yeah, I've seen pictures like that before. And I like to actually visualize a giraffe that's like fully living, like I want to keep riding my bike and uh, falling in love and hanging out with friends, and dancing like no one's watching. I actually do that, right? I actually used to when we were meeting in person.
right. Yeah, back in the good old days. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so this enlightened inner giraffe. I mean, like maybe explain to everybody what the difference is between, because you can connect to your giraffe, your connection with the heart, right? You're like connected in giraffe. You can hear giraffe and speak giraffe. So if you're having an enlightened moment of giraffe, is it just feel? You're talking about the sensation of it feeling really like automatic, like there's no. It's almost like second nature, right? It's like it's just
Yeah.
yeah. You're in it.
Yeah. It's
You're
just happening. It's
technical.
flowing.
Yeah.
Life energy is flowing. And I think it's important to recognize that part of ourselves. And that's why I wanted to start with the question of what's your passion, because it's more easily accessible when we talk about the things that we're into,
Yeah.
you know? And, and in addition to that, I think it's important to recognize that part of us so that we can call it in when we're triggered, especially. Like there might be times when I'm triggered by something and, some old pain comes up, and I can call on this part of me that is connected to life to, help me see things a little bit more objectively, like not in the trigger, but it's like, oh, so my enlightened giraffe can come in and go, oh yeah, you're triggered, man. Right. So you have this story about blah blah blah, and so the inner giraffe can help me come back to center.
So if I'm, if my need is to play and I'm finding myself, on a Friday afternoon completely burned out on work and I'm just in a bad mood and I'm maybe snapping at people and I'm like, oh, what am I not, what need is not being met for me right now? Why am I miserable? And I could say, yeah, I need to play. I have a need for play.
Yeah.
And then I know what my go-to is, right? I need to go dig out my action figures and go in the backyard and zoom around around the backyard with my X-wing. Like that would just feel like such a natural way to let it all go, right?
I like it. I like it. Yeah. And yeah, and I think it's important to be able to call on that, so that we can get back to center.
Yeah.
I used to lose my temper a lot, and like lash out at people. say things I came to regret later. And through this NVC practice of sort of like self-regulating, right? Tuning into what's really alive for me and acknowledging that truth has helped me to get to center a lot quicker.
Yeah, and those strategies make all the difference, I think, too. If you know what works for you, right, to get to center, those are shortcuts.
Yep. So anyway, that's the concept of the Enlightened Inner-Giraffe.
I love it. All right. We'll see you all next time with the NVC dudes.